And I'm going to come back to the other part of the knowledge base, which is here. This is what's called a microsite within PMI. And there's lots of content that I can get to here. But I want to show that this has been around since really sort of pre-PMI's acquisition of DA. This originally was a tool that was built so that Mark and Scott and their employees pre-acquisition had a way to manage these process goals and be able to publish them quicker. And the book that you held up, Choose Your Way of Working, really was superseded when this was made available to everyone. So the big Choose Your Wow book, that was a few hundred pages, got shrunk down to like the first 100 pages, which was more of just sort of the more description of DA. And all of the content was found here, right? The microsite. So as good as this is, there are some challenges. And so now I'm going to cover the challenges and how we've addressed this. So the looking through process goals, these containers of information, these collections of practices, it's kind of like a little bit like looking through like a keyhole or a peephole in a door, right? Because I'm just looking at this one, and if I'm trying to work with you, Mark, as a business analyst professional, and then I've got your other team member, and that is somebody that's a testing professional. Well, I can come over here and I can go to develop test strategy, but it's hard to keep flipping back and forth. So one of the things years ago that I did was these graphics you can export, and we print them. We put them up on walls in team rooms or collaboration rooms at organizations. I think I was one of the first people. I've used Miro, and it used to be called real-time boards. So putting these graphics on a Miro board so that they're all sort of laid out end to end. Big benefit there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially since I'm going to be a little bit pedantic here. But I think sometimes the obvious Achilles heel is stands in the room, but nobody addresses it. Everybody wants to work agile, and then they violate the basic principles of agile, which is co-located teams are 60%, 40% more effective than dislocated. But dislocated is not going away, and let's face it, if we want to maintain agility, we're going to have to learn how to work virtually better and better. And Miro and Mural boards are the answer to it. So yeah. So what I just showed in the browser, very significant from an asset perspective, but some challenges. So one of the things that I had done, and then again, this was part of the engagement I had with PMI. I'm going to just zoom out for a minute. So on this Miro board, right, you can see inception, construction. I'm going to go right back to explore scope. Let me just click here so that I can zoom in. So all these process goals were now replicated on this Miro board, and everybody can download this for free. The content that I'm covering, I'll show everybody in the Miroverse. PMI has made this available for free. Oh, so Miro?
In Miro.
Oh, wow.
Now, but it goes even further. Right, and this is where there was a big investment from PMI, and I can't even tell you how long it took me to do this. All of these are hyperlinked. So if I click on this, what it's going to do is it's going to open the browser, and it's going to take me directly to that. So every single one of the team level practices is hyperlinked on this Miro board, which you can also download for free. Right, you can see they're all there. And that was the beginning. So now what you've got available is you've got a canvas that teams or PMOs can look at these practices. They can open up that practice and look at a description of what it is, look at the trade-offs of when it may or may not work for you, or what it might take to put that into practice. And then again, a lot of the high impact practices have, additional resources. But this was just the beginning. So
this is amazing.
So these quick starts, which there are 5 of them at the team level, if you click on layers, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on the quick start for.
Now let me. There's an in the wording, in the semantic wording of quick start, it insinuates something. and I'm going to address the elephant in the room here. I think one of the things that professionals always suffer under is the short attention span of people, including executives. So you always have to kind of put things into sexy statements, and I call it shallow simplicity. Shallow, sexy simplicity, SSS, right?
Yeah.
But the problem with shallow, sexy simplicity is that it lacks the profundity it takes to really be able to execute it and implement it. And then the counterweight to that would be, I guess, what I would call the overwhelming depth of content, which we have here, right?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that when you say quick starts, for those who might be overwhelmed by this, quick starts are easy shortcuts to say, hey, listen, we're looking at the big picture, but don't get overwhelmed. Here, take a look at a quick start. Is that what the quick start is all about?
That's exactly it. And on these boards, and the board that you can again download for free, there's a fair amount of information which I won't take the time to go through it, but it covers that. And there's also things that I've embedded on these boards that's called a talk track. And when you play like this talk track, it moves the Miro board around. You know, it has a little video of me up in the corner, but it'll move the board around, and I'm describing the benefit of this approach and how to use it.